What's up guys, I'm here with another video. Welcome to episode 33 of Let's Build a City. Today we're building Popeyes chicken fast food restaurant. So, yeah. Today we're building Popeyes chicken fast food restaurant. So, yeah. Alright, let's build Popeyes.
What's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a Popeyes chicken fast food restaurant and drive-thru for all of your city building needs. If you're new around here, please do consider subscribing to the channel and clicking the little bell next to the subscription button to ensure that you don't miss any of my upcoming future city builds. But without any further ado, let's get started. So, just before we begin building, ladies and gentlemen, here are all of the materials that you are going to be...
Alright, let's grab the materials. So first, I need a cyan terracotta. Concrete. Black glass pane, some coarse stairs,
needing throughout the build. Please do make sure that you have access to all of those and enough of them as well. Also, just to give you a little bit of a warning, later on we are going to be needing some...
Hello Lucas Lee Links, welcome to the live stream.
Move on to that part of the video, I'll give you a nice item list just like this one that will allow you to gather what you will be needing. The amount of space required to make Popeyes is a 24 by 19 block area. This is represented by the white concrete rectangle on the ground. Feel free to make this in your world if you are planning out a city. And that's it. Pause the video if you have to, gather all of those materials, make sure that you've got enough room to make it, make sure you know where you want to make it, and once you're ready, we can begin. Step 1, delicious chicken lovers, come all the way to the front left hand corner of your grid, if you have made it. From the front left corner of the grid, you want to count to the right by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then inwards by 1 and 2. This is the starting position. Place a cyan terracotta on the ground and place 10 to the right of it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I love your videos. Thank you. Thanks for that. I'd really appreciate. I'd really like. Thanks.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then extend that 10th block inwards by 2. 1, 2. Go right by 2. 1, 2. And then extend towards the back of the build by 9. 1, 2, 3, 4.
9. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You want to go left 1, and then backwards by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then go left by 12.
12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then come towards you by 4. Or actually, we can add a little bit of detail here. You can instead come towards the front of the building by placing 2 upside down quartz stairs. On the end of those quartz stairs, place 2 cyan terracotta, 1, 2. Extend that second cyan terracotta towards you, and then extend towards the front of the building by 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Extend inwards by 2, 1, 2, and then right by 1 to connect all the way back to where you first started. The end result of that should look very similar, if not identical, it should look identical, to this. Now, once you have completed that, ladies and gentlemen, the next thing that we are going to do is we are just going to place red terracotta all the way around on top of the shape. We can add windows and stuff in later. We can worry about little details and we can carve them into the building itself. The only place I don't want you to add red terracotta, as a matter of fact, is on top of the upside down quartz stairs. But everywhere else, feel free to just lay a thick foundation on top. The next thing that I want you to do is I want you to focus more so on the front of the building. So I want you to take this outward row of red terracotta here, and I want you to place 7 rows of yellow terracotta on top.
How old are you? I'm not gonna say that. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we are going to completely fill in this area using yellow terracotta. So all the way up until you have 7 rows high.
I'm leaving. Bye bye.
Just
why are you leaving the stream?
like this. I want you to extend those 7 rows backwards on the left side and the right side, so it will continue on along the red terracottas that we have on the left and right side, and you will form a rectangular-like shape like this. That is perfect. You can even connect it together at the top here to form a solid shape at the top. It will look like a rectangle. And the next thing that we want to do is we want to focus on the sides a little bit more. You see, on the sides, it's a little bit different. You want to place 4 rows of yellow terracotta everywhere else on top of the red terracotta. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4 everywhere else. And once again, we can focus on adding windows and doors and signs after we have extended everywhere upwards using 4 rows of yellow terracotta. It is, I think, easier to add detail afterwards, and if you're working with a blank canvas like this one, you will find that you can add details yourself as well. If you don't like the positioning on some of the windows or some of the other key features of the build, you are more than welcome to change them. Whereas if we kind of just leave a template for the building, where we leave out all of the windows and doors, then I think that you might be a little bit more encouraged to kind of just follow along. But that's what we want to have so far. The only thing that I would like to do is on the left side of the building where we have the upside down quartz stairs, we want to leave a gap of 2 from the bottom. You can even fill in one side of the window using 2 black glass pane, but then we want to seal up above the window. That is simply a drive-through window. The reason that we're leaving a gap of 2 is just so that you can hand food through the window. I need to get my food. So that's what we want to have so far, ladies and gents. Well, the next thing that we are going to do is we are just going to seal up the top of the back of the front of the building. So now that we have added all of the other yellow terracotta, we can just seal up the top part of this. We also have to add a little bit of a roof. Now the roof is going to be made out of red concrete. You can begin by placing a layer of red red concrete that simply sits on top of the yellow terracotta that we have at the top of the build. Not only are you going to want to do this on the lower part of the building, but you can do the same thing at the top here as well. So where the sign is on the front of the building, you may feel free to add red concrete. And I'm going to be filling in the top of the red concrete, not only on that part of the building where it is a little bit smaller at the front, but I want to fill in the large open space left at the top of the main part of the building. The reason being is because the ceiling is going to be using some redstone lamps, so we need a solid top of the build. We can't just use the interior ceiling as the exterior ceiling, otherwise you'll see like redstone blocks and stuff poking out the top, which is no good. So far we have something which looks like this, which doesn't look too bad. But now we're going to give the roof a little bit of light. You see, I want you to take the edge of the red concrete. That's something which looks like this, which doesn't look too bad. But now we're going to give the roof a little bit of life. You see, I want you to take the edge of the red concrete roof, and I want you to extend it one row outwards like this. The red concrete roof, once extended one row outwards, will overhang the building all the way around, and it just adds a bit of depth, and it just looks a little bit better. The same thing can and should be done all the way up at the top here, where we have the sort of sign for the front of the building. So this is where we're actually going to be using banners later to write out Popeyes. Up here, where we have the sort of sign for the front of the building. So this is where we're actually going to be using banners later to write out Popeyes. Now that we've reached this point here, we can actually add details to the building, and do feel free to add windows and doors in different positions. This really is a blank canvas at the moment, so do feel free to make changes where you see fit. So we're going to begin with the front, and we're going to come all the way down to this red terracotta here on the front left side. We are going to go to the right of it and knock out 2 blocks. We're going to go to the right, leave a gap of 1, knock out 3 blocks. Leave a gap of 1 and knock out 2 blocks. Destroy an entire row above these, and then fill in this area with glass. And these are just the front windows of the building. I'm going to place an entire row of red concrete above all of the windows, connecting together left to right. I'm also contemplating destroying these middle red terracottas here and placing yellow terracottas instead, because I think that might look a little bit better. I'll leave that up to you. Well, what we also want to do is we want to place a sign here. So the best thing to do is to line up with the left side of the red concrete here above the windows. Leave a gap of 1 coming upwards. Move to the right by 1 and destroy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks. Fill that in using red concrete, and later on we will be able to write Popeyes directly above that line. We also want to add a couple of other rows of red concrete. So, for instance, we want to, on the sides of the building, place red concrete here, which correlates to where the red concrete is above the windows. We want to place red concrete here, and also here, and that just, it kind of just looks a little bit nicer by adding it. It's a little bit of detail. Coming along the right side of the building, where the actual entrance is going to be, we want to have more windows as well. So if you start from the bottom left side red terracotta here, and you move to the right, destroy 2 rows, gap of 1, destroy 2 rows, gap of 1, destroy 2 rows, but destroy down and above as well. That is going to be an entrance area. And then just moving along this back wall here, right in the middle of this back wall, we're going to destroy these 2 middle red terracottas, and also the yellow terracottas above them. And we're also going to do the same here, just coming forwards, and here, just like this. So All of the windows, which are the smaller holes, can be filled in using black stained glass paint or any variety of glass that you may want. We are going to place a row of red concrete above these two left side windows, coming all the way over and spanning both of them. Additionally, we're going to want to have that above this little window here and above where the entrance is going to be. We'll add doors and stuff later on. It's just that as we replace the floor, the doors will get destroyed anyway, so there's really no point in doing that now. There is no windows on the back of the building because we're placing all of the cooking equipment back there. However, on the left side of the building, we can come all the way to this right red terracotta here, towards the front of the building. You can move to the left, destroy 2 blocks, gap of 1, destroy 2 blocks, destroy above, here, here, and then you can fill these windows in using glass paint. If you like, you can place red concrete above them, joining together, or you might like the aesthetic of them.
Oh, don't turn off my PS4. Okay, my mum's just put that in my PS4.
I'm actually not sure which I like better. On the front, I kind of like them all joined together. Or do I? You know what, I'm going to leave all of the windows separated for a little bit. And I'm going to kind of figure out as I move around whether I like them separated or together. Again, these are design choices that you're more than welcome to make for yourself. So, as we're on the left side of the building, we have a drive-through. The drive-through is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 rows wide, as most of my city roads are as wide as that. So I'm going to have 4 rows dug out directly to the left of our Popeyes. This is going to allow you to place a car down the side, or whatever vehicle might actually fit. You're more than welcome, of course, to, and by the way, I'm going to fill the area in using grey concrete because that is primarily the resource that I use to make roads, because I just like grey concrete for whatever reason for roads. Feel free to use whatever you feel as though looks the best. I'm also just going to fill in this little gap here where we have the drive-through window, and underneath the drive-through window I might place like red concrete just to kind of like highlight it a little bit. Additionally, just like coming around the front, so all of this area that's kind of just left alone, I'm going to leave these 2 corner blocks here, when I say corner blocks, let me show you what my plan is for this point actually. Let me show you. So we're going to use some green terracotta, lime terracotta, brown carpet, we're going to need oak leaves, and I think just smooth stone. So in the corners here where we have Popeyes, I want some fake bushes. So in the corner, green, lime terracotta, brown carpet, we're going to need oak leaves, and I think just smooth stone. So in the corners here where we have Popeyes, I want some fake bushes. So in the corner, green terracotta with lime on top, and brown carpet going around the bottom. It's just a nice little decoration. I want the same in this corner as well, so dark on the bottom, light on top, brown carpet going all the way around to look like dirt. Additionally, I'm going to then destroy all the rest of the area inside of the grid. Do bear in mind that I said inside of the grid. And I'm going to leave the white concrete on the back, and the reason being, by the way, is because I have some hedges, and I think that the hedges might look cool with white concrete underneath them. But we will see, won't we? But the reason that I'm destroying all the grass is so that I can place some smooth stone around it, and then that way people can navigate and walk around the outside of Popeyes. Feel free to add parking spaces to your Popeyes. guys, I'm sure if you've made any other builds by me, then you will be able to make parking spaces. Just make them wide enough for cars, make them long enough for cars, and you should be perfectly fine. So now we have kind of like an established area around Popeyes. I'm going to place some oak leaves as hedging, as a separation between the drive-thru and everywhere else on the left side. I'm also just going to place some leaves coming up.
I'm gonna place oak leaves all the way around. Looks really nice as a decoration.
Along the back of the border of Popeyes, just to kind of just create a nice section of space. And Popeyes is looking pretty good. Now, I think I've came to a decision on the windows. I definitely like the front windows joined together because they're different sizes. I just kind of like them joined together. But I think the side windows are alright as they are. Or are they? I don't know, because it's a bit busy with all of them separated. Again, feel free to make your decision, but the ones on the left side in particular, just because there's only two windows, it doesn't bother me as much. I might even add red concrete as well above the drive-thru window. That looks pretty decent. Whilst we are on this side of the building, I'm going to use signs, item frames, and cooked chicken. So along this wall here, I'm just going to place a couple of items. I'm going to use signs, item frames, and cooked chicken. So along this wall here, I'm just going to place a couple of item frames with cooked chicken inside, with oak signs underneath, and maybe even some prices as well. So maybe just like, I don't know, maybe there's a special like $3 for like burger. Like, I'm assuming that Popeyes do chicken burger. We don't actually have one over here in the UK. So I'm only guessing, but I'm pretty sure Popeyes are exclusively chicken. And how about some like $5 for like, I'm going to assume chicken wings. Why don't we do something like that? So you can just write out something that makes sense in these signs, especially if you're more familiar with the restaurant than I am. But just a couple of advertisements on the side, you could even make them a bit.
Hello Cheap, welcome to live stream.
To make them a little bit more in line with the windows if you like, and that's a nice little bit of detail added onto the left side of the building. On the right side of the building, which, and by the way, this is completely optional, you don't have to add this, although I think it does make a little bit of a difference. An outdoor seating area will look quite good. You can make it using quartz stairs, some oak fence, red carpet. We're going to be using some rods, a little bit of string as well. Additionally, look quite good. You can make it using quartz stairs, some oak fence, red carpet. We're going to be using some end rods, a little bit of string as well. Additionally, we're going to make a bin out of light grey concrete and iron trap doors. So, coming along the side of Popeyes here, we're going to start from the... Additionally, we're going to make a bin out of light grey concrete and iron trap doors. So, coming along the side of Popeyes here, we're going to start from the cyan terracotta here, and we're going to place a chair, which is a quartz stairs, a table, which is an oak fence with a red carpet on top, and then a quartz stairs on the opposite side. If we place a couple of end rods behind the table on top of each other with red carpet on top, and then we're going to place on the opposite side of this the same thing, so it's going to be a quartz stairs, oak fence next to it, red carpet on top, with a quartz stairs on the opposite side, and then you should be able to place string on top of the quartz stairs, red carpet on top of this, and I'm just going to extend this actually, I kind of like it like that. I was going to make it like an umbrella so that it kind of like stuck out this way, but I kind of like it just like that, to be honest with you. And then opposite side the door here, this is a door, or this area will be a door, light grey concrete with iron trapdoors on top. And that's just like a nice outdoor seating area. You're more than welcome to even add another table or perhaps a couple of single tables like here, so maybe like one there, and you could even have like one there if you wanted to, or that seems a little bit busy to me, but you know, you can add one there if you like, just coming out of the back right there. So that is what we have created thus far, ladies and gentlemen. So now that we've reached this point right here, in which we have made the majority of the outside of it, we're just going to do the sign before we move on to the inside part. So I'm just going to dump all of this stuff, and I'm going to grab a crafting table, of which we only need one. I'm going to throw that down on the ground there, and I'm going to get rid of my crafting tables. I'm going to move my back point right here, in which we have made the majority of the outside of the build. We're just going to do the sign before we move on to the inside part. So I'm just going to dump all of this.
Before I make the sign, I'm going to make the road. Very, very important for all of my city. For my city builds. Just have a little road in front. I actually like it.
Only need one. I'm going to throw that down on the ground there, and I'm going to get rid of my crafting tables. I'm going to move my banners, my white dye, and my red dye all the way up to the top left corner of my inventory. I'm going to crack open the crafting table, and I'm going to start my least favourite part of the tutorial, which is the banners. So the first banner, of course, we have to make is P. So we're going to place a red banner in the middle of the table with white dye along the top, just the banners. So the first banner, of course, we have to make is P. So we're going to place a red banner in the middle of the table with white dye along the top. Grab that banner and place it in the middle of the table with white dye coming along the right side. Grab that banner and place it in the top middle of the table with 2 rows of red dye underneath. Grab that banner and place it in the top middle of the table again, and place a single row of white dye coming along the middle horizontally. Grab that new banner, place it in the middle of the table, and place white dye coming up the left side top to bottom. And thank goodness that is P complete, one of the harder letters to make. So P is going to be used twice. If you're in survival, you will have to make it twice. If you're in creative, you don't. We're going to place P all the way up here. So along where we have the red concrete area here, a P banner is going to be placed on the left side, gap of 1, to crack open the crafting table again, and we're going to place a new banner in the middle of the table. White die coming up the left side.
Hello, Lucas Lee Links. Welcome back.
Place it in the middle of the table with white die along the top. Grab the new banner and place it in the middle of the table with white die coming along the right side. Grab the new banner and place it in the middle of the table and place white die underneath. Grab that banner, that is O. So we can place O in between the two P's. We won't need O again. We're going to grab a brand new banner and place it in the middle of the table with white die along the top. Grab the new banner and place it in the top middle of the table with white die along the middle. Grab the new banner and place it in the middle of the table with white die along the bottom. Grab the new banner and place it in the middle of the table with white die top left corner to bottom left corner. So all the way up the left side to give you E. So now we can place an E not only next to the end P, but you want to leave a gap of one and place another E. Again, if you're in survival mode, I do apologise, you will just have to create 2 E banners. But us creative lot, we get to have it easy and we can just reuse the banner. So now we are going to crack open the table, place a brand new white banner in the middle of the table. It's actually going to go in the middle left. And we're going to place white die top left corner to bottom right corner. Grab that banner, place it in the top middle table. Place it in the top middle of the table corner. Now for the final banner, we begin with white die the bottom right corner to top left corner. There we go, that's perfect. And that will give you S. And all we have to do, of course, is just place S on the end, and there you have Popeyes, which is perfect. So now, ladies and gentlemen, well done, we have completed the entire outside of the build. But here's the thing, we can use a lot of the material ready to work on the inside before we have to grab some more, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. Feel free, and I always recommend this because I myself, many times have I accidentally messed up the sign as I've been building. Even if I'm on the inside, I'm going to just grab a chest and I'm going to chuck all of the banners in the chest for now. Hopefully I won't need them again, but you never know. Better safe than sorry. So first, we're going to come inside of our Popeyes chicken. I'm going to re-floor it first of all. That's going to require oak planks. I'm also going to need to add a ceiling. That will require a block of iron. So, I'm going to re-floor the area. That means ripping up whatever is in the inside of the Popeyes. I really don't know where you guys will be building this. So, if you're building it kind of like a super flat world like me, obviously you're going to have like just pretty much grass unless you customize it. But if you're in like a survival world or something, you know, world you're making, probably won't be grass, but the end result is the same either way. You want to rip up whatever material is used for the floor, and we are going to turn it into planks. And of course, you don't have to use oak planks at all. You can use whatever planks or whatever material you like. You might even feel as though you want to swap around. You might want to use a block of iron perhaps for the floor. You might want to use some oak planks for the ceiling, which you're more than welcome to do, especially if you feel as though that will look better. But I myself, for some reason, just with the materials that have been used, I think that oak planks really lends a nice warm feeling. Like I get good vibes looking at the colour scheme of this restaurant. I really like it. Like it's a very subtle, like it's not bright yellow and red. Some of my favourite colours. But it's nice colours, but it's just not like very, very vibrant. And I think that oak plank well for this. Anyway, the next thing that we have to do, of course, is we have to place the ceiling. The ceiling is quite easy to do. It's going to be made out of block of iron, and it wants to sit. You want to leave a gap of 1 above the windows, and that is where the ceiling wants to sit. Just 1 row above the windows. It's quite a high ceiling. You've got about 4 rows of space to work with on the inside of the build. And typically speaking, I only usually give about 3, but there was something about this build in particular that I kind of just wanted to give a little bit of extra space for. And we just want to continue to fill this in, like this of course, and I might also add some lights inside as well, although I was going to do that on the next part of this one, but I think that I might just grab some lights. So, what do you use for lights? You've got plenty of choices, but my specific favourite is redstone lamp and something to light it with. Of course, you can use sea lanterns, you can use glowstone, you don't even need to add ceiling lights if you don't want to, but this is what I'm going to be using. So, I always like to place lighting in an equal manner onto, but this is what I'm going to be using. So, I always like to place lighting in an equal So I'm going to place the lights coming along the ceiling, correlating to where the ends of the middle window are. And I'm also going to line up the lights with the sides of the windows, or the middle of the side windows, I should say. So, what that means is that I'm going to place lights where the middle of these windows on the side would meet at a 90-degree angle the middle windows on the front. And I'm going to do that all the way down the restaurant, and you'll find that you have a pretty even-ish set of lights. They're in quite a satisfying place if you place them like this. And I'm just going to add, of course, some redstone block to light, and I'm going to use lamps. So it's not exactly like perfect, it's not sat perfectly in the middle of the restaurant, but it's in a place where, and I'm going to use...
Hello memes.
So
X,
it's
not
exactly
X
like
fan,
perfect.
welcome to live stream.
And I'm just going to add, of course, some redstone block to light, and I'm going to use lamps. So it's not exactly like perfect, it's not sat perfectly in the middle of the restaurant, but it's in a place where I'm quite happy where the lights are. Like, it correlates to the structure of the building a little bit. Oh, hang on, my bad. Wait, here, there we go. No, still not done it. There we go, perfect. So it kind of, like, it correlates, like, if you see to where the windows are, so I'm quite happy about that, really. So the next thing that we're going to need when we're working on the inside, we need a lot of structural materials. So we're going to be grabbing some red concrete. Let me just chuck the red block of redstone away. We're going to be using red concrete, quartz stairs. We're going to be using a lot of oak fence. And what else are we going to be needing, ladies and gentlemen? Well, plenty of item frames, cooked chicken, and oak signs. And I'll tell you what, that's pretty much it. There might be a few others that will be but for the most part, these are what I just want to use right now. So, to let you know, along this back wall is where all of the action is going to be. And we are going to leave a gap of 2 between the drive-through window here, and then we're going to place a red concrete. Leave a gap of 2, red concrete. Gap of 2, 3 red concrete. This is a work area. Above this gap of 2 here, the first one, you want to leave a gap of 1 and then place some extractor fans in the form of quartz stairs above. Along the top wall, I want to place where you have gaps in between, like, the extractor fans. I'm going to just have a load of signs, and I'm just going to have, like, in an ideal world, these signs signs would have something in them. So in an ideal world, these signs would say like, you know, chicken, it'd have like labels for drinks and stuff. But pretty much, I'm just going to use these signs as a couple of them are going to have, most of them are going to have chicken in. Maybe we'll have something for like dessert. I'm assuming there's dessert and stuff, and maybe we'll have like bread to represent like burgers and stuff, and maybe they sell ice cream. Most places sell ice cream, right? So I think that we can quite safely snowballs. So there we go, snowballs. So maybe like in a couple of these we can have like bread and ice cream, so like chicken and like burgers and stuff, and like a little bit of dessert there. There's going to be drinks machines on the back here and all sorts. Well, there's going to be a character space for all this as well. The characters are quite easy to place. It's just next to the cyan terracotta here, just on the right side of the entrance, and we're going to place a row of red concrete coming along the side here. We're going to leave a gap of one before we hit the end, and then place another red concrete like this. So now we are going to look back on the restaurant, and we've got
Popeyes is a good
space. This is
choice.
filled up primarily with chairs. So on the opposite,
Popeyes is a good choice for a fast food place. Yeah, I don't live in America though.
Place a red concrete. We're going to place a quartz stairs, which is going to be a chair with oak fence in front of it. We're then going to place a red concrete, quartz stair, fence, like that. And that's against the wall. We want to have a similar-ish set on the opposite side, except we're just going to start like in this corner here. We're going to place a chair, oak fence, red concrete, chair, oak fence, red concrete, and then we're just going to have a little gap here. There's going to be like a pot of plant. So coming along this back wall here, we're going to have a little bit of a bigger area. We're going to place two red concretes on the left side and the right side, and we're going to have red concretes coming inwards from the left side of the middle window and the right side of the middle window. And we're just going to place some quartz stairs kind of like curving around so that we can have like little booths. And we can have some oak fence in between, and we'll place table toppers and stuff on those in a bit. So that leaves a lot of space in between the left and right side. So what we're going to do here is where you see these tables here, we are going to line up with these two tables, and starting from here closest to the counter, we're going to place a red concrete here and here. So this is kind of like the spacing. We're then going to place quartz stairs on the opposite ends of the red concretes, oak fence in between the fence, or in between the stairs, and then we're going to place some stairs on the opposite side with red concretes like this. So we have two separate tables in the middle, and of course we will be placing table toppers on top of them. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we've actually done like a huge amount of the inside, like we've laid out a lot of the foundation, but we are missing quite a few things that will allow us to just put on some finishing touches to the actual build itself. Decorative items. So, here are all of the things that we are going to be needing, ladies and gentlemen. Please do grab all of these, make sure that you have all of them, and then you'll be able to decorate the inside. And of course I have to grab them for myself as well. So I have just finished grabbing all of the things that I think that we're going to be needing to make the rest of our Popeyes. I do hope that you guys managed to grab them for yourself. Of course, pause the video if you have to make sure that you have been able to grab all of those things, and once you're ready we can continue on. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to just use a couple of chests here in order that you have been able to grab all of those things, and once you're ready we can continue on. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to just use a couple of chests here in between the drive-through window and the rest of the area. So I just figured that kind of like this is where you would store drive-through food, and as people are driving by to collect it, you can just chuck it out. What we also want to do is place, I've taken to doing this and I don't know why, placing iron bars in between the furnace and the extractor fan. You do that at your own risk. Above the cauldrons, I'm just going to place iron trapdoors because that just makes it look a little bit more fryery. Along this wall here, on this counter space, I'm going to place a couple of brewing stands in the flower pot. Of course, that is where you will be getting drinks. While a bell is going to be placed above here next to the fryer. So I guess I'm just going to have to get rid of that item frame there. This is placed above the fryer because I don't know if you've ever been in like a fast food place. Like sometimes like you'll hear a ringing sound and that's like to alert you that the food's cooked. So I figure a bell kind of makes sense. Place one next to the door if you wanted to as well. I don't know whether that makes sense or not. It's not kind of like a convenience store, but maybe you could. I don't actually like it there. Well, the next thing we're going to do is I forgot that we need cash registers, so a couple of quartz stairs along this counter space area will do just nicely. Maybe even a couple of flower pots as well to represent drinks or something that people have got ready, and that'll look pretty good. This counter space here, I want to kind of represent drinks or something that people have got ready, that'll look pretty good. This counter space here, I want to kind of like section it off a little bit, so we're going to be using an oak trapdoor for this. We'll be using heavily weighted pressure plates, we're going to be using some yellow glazed terracotta, some oak leaves, loads of flowers, so not just dandelions, paintings, we'll need torches and plates, we're going to be using some yellow glazed terracotta, some oak leaves, loads of flowers, so not just dandelions, paintings, we'll need torches, and we need both carpets, red and white. So the reason that we have that trapdoor here is just so that people can walk behind the counter space. That's pretty much all that's there for. The reason that we have the yellow glazed terracotta is so that we can place a load of plants everywhere. So like one here in this corner next to the counter space is pretty good with a couple of oak leaves on the top. I like that quite a bit. We can even place a little bit of glazed terracotta here and maybe even a leaf or two on top just to kind of like separate those boundaries. If you can find another space for one, do feel free to add one. I mean maybe one here, or, you know, wherever you find that you might be able to place one, feel free to. Now, the next thing that we're going to be doing, of course, is we are going to be placing some weighted pressure plates for the table toppers. So on top of all of the oak fences, I'm going to use weighted pressure plates because I like it the best. I don't know why it is, and I like how that looks. I really like the red and the white heavily being used here. Additionally, you can use weighted pressure plates kind of like next to tills to kind of add a bit of detail, and you can even do it on the counter spaces back here along where the cooking area is. It makes the place look a little bit more fancy, a little bit more detailed, rich. Well, the next thing that we are going to be doing, of course, is we are going to be grabbing the flower pots again because we completely forgot about them. And you can place plenty of flowers like around where the seats are. So you can pretty much place them like anywhere that you have the red concrete. I mean, you probably don't want to go too mental like doing it, but if you place a load of flowers, and dandelions work well because they're yellow. Like that's a colour that we're lacking a little bit. We're using a lot of red, a lot of white, but not loads of yellow. So if you use any yellow flowers that you might want to get your hands on, I'm not going to clutter my inventory at the moment, but if you want to use any yellow flowers, then you can add loads of flowers about the place and really just make it look better. And additionally, we're going to place some paintings because it just makes the place feel a little bit nicer. So paintings, I'm going to put pretty much in between the separations of all of the windows. This is going to be a little bit nicer. So paintings, I'm going to place pretty much in between the separations of all of the windows. There's going to be about 6 of them in total, so it'll be about here. Now, the reason that I place those is because I want just one between the separations of all of the windows. windows. There's going to be about 6 of them in total, so it'll be about here. Now, the reason that I place those is because I want just a single one-by-one. Oh no! I want a single one-by-one painting everywhere. I don't want repeats. I'm not sure. I've definitely had that one before, haven't I? I think that I've actually managed to get pretty much no repeats, and it just brightens the place up a little bit. It's nice to have stuff on the walls. Now, I wish there were loads of paintings and stuff about chicken and stuff that was being sold here and stuff that represented the store a little bit better, but there isn't, so what can you do? I'm going to place torches above every... I wish there were loads of paintings. Chicken and stuff that was being sold here and represented the store a little bit better, but there isn't, so what can you do? I'm going to place torches above every single painting. Now this will keep the place a little bit lighter and brighter sometimes, and we're also going to use a little bit of white carpet mixed in with some red, and we're going to place some carpet. So number one, I'm going to have it in front of the cash register area, and this is where you would order your chicken, of course, to add. You know what, I'm just going to have one row. I was going to double up on the row, but I think one row will do. And I'm just going to have directly alternating white and red in front of the cash register. So, I'm also going to have some carpet in between the stairs area here and in between here as well, and it's just going to be the same. It's going to be alternating red and white. One of my favourite varieties of carpets to use inside of places is just to use 2 different colours and patch them together, and you see it just makes the place look livelier and brighter and happier. Like, it really does look like a nice happy bright place inside of our Popeyes chicken. There's only one thing that we have to do, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know why. I take great pleasure in doing this particular part of the tutorial. Again, I don't know why. I just like it. We're going to put the door on. So the door is going to be oak, and I'm going to use the glass above it. It's not glass block though. So white glass above the doors, a couple of oak doors, and there, ladies and gentlemen, you have your fully completed Popeyes chicken. Now that has been a journey, but it's been a fun one. I do hope that you guys have enjoyed making.
We have made Popeyes chicken. I'm really happy of how this build looks. It looks really nice, to be fair. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you smash that like button, smash the subscribe button, hit the notification button, so you don't miss any videos from me, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.